All right, for those of you who have found your way back on here, we apologize. We are at halftime. As you can see, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the halftime break. Mustangs trail 22-15, and everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong in this first half as far as technology-wise. But hopefully we've got help on the way. We're going to try and run with this internet that we've got right now. It's not perfect, and it may dump you a time or two until we can get a hard Ethernet wire hooked up for us. The IT guy down here at WNCC is working hard at that, and hopefully that'll happen sooner rather than later. So I guess, long story short, don't be surprised if this thing crashes on you, but hopefully it'll come right back again as we move forward. So as we look at the ball game, Mitchell jumped out to an 11-0 lead, and it was at about that point that we started having difficulty and wasn't able to pay attention like we should have. Long story short, the Mustangs stopped the bleeding and made a little run through the second quarter, and they have narrowed the gap down to just a 7-point game at halftime. So some good things happening for the Mustangs. That's the bright spot in this whole thing. Hopefully we'll get to see more of that as we work our way through this second half. Got most of you back on here, we hope now. Again, if you missed it, we apologize. Big technical difficulties here, and still working to remedy those. Don't be surprised if the feed drops out once or twice as we go along here, but it should come back up. We're working hard to get an Ethernet connection, which is what we thought we were going to have when we started this day. Didn't happen, and so we're kind of hung up out here in the middle, and we certainly do apologize. But what started out as a big Mitchell run to start the game has turned into a Mustangs run to end the second quarter. They've clawed their way back into this thing as we get ready to head to the second half. So we will we'll broadcast like nothing's wrong here as long as we can, and hopefully somewhere between quarters or certainly before the start of the boys game this evening, we'll have that hard line back in here, and we should be set up and in good shape. But they did some upgrades down here at WNCC, and apparently when they did that, they neglected to connect back in the Ethernet cable that we usually use here, and so that's the root of the whole problem. So we are ready to start the second half. I don't have any first half stats for you. I know that Josie Perez has got at least 5 points. Beyond that, I can't really tell very much. So away we go. Well, hopefully we've got things under control. Mitchell with the basketball in the all-white uniforms to start the third quarter, and away we go. They go over the top to Wilfred. She is up and good for two. And that extends the Mitchell lead to 24-15. 7:40 to go, third quarter. Here's Carly Hinn out on the edge. Skips it across, and Josie Perez had cut to the basket. It's over her head and out of bounds. Turnover by the Mustangs. And this is Gillen. Swings it around. Kano between the circles. And now Jory Peters down on the baseline for Celeste Cardona. She'll take the shot and drops it in. So a 4-point run to start the third quarter by the Mitchell Tigers. Carly Hinn out beyond that 3-point line. Now she'll work her way in over the top. That's Schultz. Finds Hinn underneath. Works against Wilfred. And now a foul over the back is going to be called on Callie Schultz. That is Callie's second foul of the afternoon. 6:55 to go in the third quarter. 26-15. Mitchell leads it by 11. Mustangs had it down to 7 at the half. But Mitchell out to a quick start here in the third quarter. Kano out on the right wing. Man-to-man defense by the Mustangs. Gillen drives in, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Carly Hinn. That is at least 3 on Carly. And that is her third. So Carly able to play the entire second quarter with just those 2 fouls, but she picks up her third here with 6:33 to go in the third quarter. The first free throw by Gillen is no good. But the second is. And it's a 5-0 run over the first minute and a half of this third quarter for the Mitchell Tigers. Josie Perez into the corner for Gracie Perez. Three-pointer, good! .6:15 to go, 27-18. Peters sets the offense, high post. And now Jory Peters steps back. Cardona with the rebound, and she is fouled on the putback, and Cardona will head to the line. That is on Kenna Campbell. That'll be her third. First one is good for Cardona. So this is the way the first quarter started out. And she made them both. Mitchell trying to assert themselves here in the early going of this third quarter. Skip pass across to Schultz. Now to Gracie Perez on the wing and back to Schultz. 5:45 to go third quarter. They go inside for Josie Perez. Up and over, that one won't go. Schultz there with the rebound and the putback. Back to a 9-point game, 5:30 to go in the third quarter. Peters drives in, now she'll kick it over to Kano. Cardona on the baseline. And she traveled. Gillen will take a seat on the bench. Maddie Watson in to take her place in the Tiger lineup. Campbell at the top of the key, works to her right. Feeds it down inside for Perez. Free throw line for Schultz, too high off the glass, and Wilfred controls it. Callie nearly got it pried out of her hands, but here comes Peters. Stops, pull-up jumper, good. 4:45 to go in the third quarter, and an 11-point game. Onto the wing for Garrett. Inside for Campbell, and now Schultz. Down to Garrett on the baseline again. And now we've got a traveling call on the Mustangs. And they'll give it back with 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Cardona across to Wilfred, looks down low for Kano, flips up a shot that won't go, but Wilfred is there. A couple of putbacks won't go, and finally, Callie Schultz comes out of there with a rebound and a foul on one of the Mitchell Tigers. That'll go against Kano, and that is her first. 4:10 to go. Callie Schultz will set the offense for the Mustangs with 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. That one nearly taken away by Wilfred, but tipped out of bounds. Now Kenna Campbell will come over to inbound it for the Mustangs. Top of the key for Perez. Garrett will take the shot, missed everything. Kano with the rebound. Peters running the floor, can't get that to fall. And the rebound by Josie Perez. And they're going to say that she carried it, tried to change direction, and turned the ball over. 3:39 to go in the third quarter. Kenna Campbell will get a break. Jacoby Knight into the game. 31-20, Wilfred playing catch. Here's Maddie Watson for three. No good. And Josie Perez clears the rebound. Mustangs haven't been able to get up and down in transition like they like to do normally. That one they tried to go inside for Garrett. Hit her square in the middle of the back, and another turnover by the Mustangs. Kano will peel this one out with 3:10 to go. Peters traveled with it. Good head fake, but a little too good. And they'll give it back to the Mustangs with 3:08 to go in the third quarter. So for those of you joining us late after we got started here during the halftime break, we fought with the internet and still fighting with it, but I think we're getting by in the meantime. Gracie Perez outside for Knight. She looks high post, that's Perez, and we're gonna have a blocking foul called on Maddie Watson. Well, that's the second on Watson. Kano comes out, Gillen back into the game. These Mitchell Tigers don't substitute very much. Over the top for Schultz. She'll take the inbounds pass, and the Mustangs set the offense. Gracie Perez in the near corner. Now they'll go high post for Josie Perez. They kick it out for Jacoby Knight. She'll drive in, and they're going to have a blocking foul called on Wilfred. Nice aggressive move to the basket by Jacoby Knight. That is the second foul on Kiana Wilfred. 2:28 to go. There's a quick shot off the inbounds by Schultz, but it won't fall for her. And now Mitchell with numbers. And that is Peters laying it up and in. Makes it 33-20 with 2:10 to go in the third quarter. The Mustangs had it down to 7 at the half. They've lost a little ground here in the third quarter. Josie Perez squares up, baseline jumper, no good. Anytime you have to shoot over Wilfred, it's changing the Mustang shot here this afternoon. They go inside for Wilfred. Now she finds herself too far under the basket, kicks it out for Gillen, and we got a 3-point violation on Wilfred as she couldn't get out of the paint. They'll turn it over to the Mustangs with 1:44 to go. Third quarter. Knight brings it ahead to Callie Schultz. Now Gracie Perez, and back to Schultz. Man-to-man defense by the Mitchell Tigers. Knight gets it to Josie Perez. Josie dribbles across and hands it off to Schultz. Outside to Knight. She'll save that one back in, and it's picked up, controlled by Cardona. Cardona ahead to Watson, finds Wilfred running the floor, and the good foul that time by Sierra Garrett to save the easy layup. She'll make Wilfred earn it from the free throw line. So that is the third foul on Sierra Garrett. So the Mustangs with Kenna Campbell, Carly Hinn, and Sierra Garrett all with 3 fouls apiece, as the first one by Wilfred is good. 1:08 to go in the third quarter, and she made them both. And Josie Perez brings it up the floor. The Mustangs trail by 15. .53 seconds to go. Long three-pointer by Josie Perez is good. 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. They go inside for Wilfred. Mustangs collapse on her, and they're gonna call a foul on the floor. And that will be against Josie Perez. and that is her second. Get it into Wilfred. Watson in the corner. Over the top to Wilfred. That is too easy. Nice inside move. Left her all alone under the basket. 37-23 with 18 seconds to go in the third quarter. Gracie Perez, long three-pointer. Good! Gillen drives in, and just before the end of the quarter, lays that one in for two more. Makes it 39-26. That is the score heading to the fourth quarter. One thing that we haven't had time to do in all of the stuff that we've been dealing with this afternoon, we haven't had a chance to thank our sponsors. So let's take a chance here, or take the time to do that. The First National Bank in Gordon, Strong Insurance, Gordon True Value, Hins Home Furnishings, Gardner, Lautzenheiser, and Ryan, the Italian Inn, Grocery Mart, Gordon Dental. The Gordon Community Theater has reached their goal. That's a nice thing to know. And Sides in Milburn Ford, and Modern Farm Equipment in Gordon. We'll get a chance to expand on those sponsors just a little bit more as we go throughout the rest of the day here. It has felt like things have moved at about 100 miles an hour as we've been fighting with just about everything this afternoon, but it feels like maybe we're starting to make some headway. Not going to brag on that internet connection too much and jinx it here, but the Mustangs, with 8 minutes left in the game, they've got some work to do. They trail it by 13, 39-26. And that one taken away by Cardona on the entry pass by Campbell. Watson into the corner for Kano. She'll try the three. That one is short, and the rebound cleared by Perez and then slapped out of her hand, but picked up by Josie Perez. Josie drives all the way to the baseline. Pull-up jumper, that one won't fall. And a foul. I think Carly Hinn just picked up number 4. No, they gave it to Callie Schultz. That is her third. So 4 Mustangs with 3 fouls. Schultz, Garrett, Hinn, and Campbell. 7:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Gillen on the left wing. Top of the key for Kano. Three-pointer off the mark. Rebounded by Campbell. Ahead to Josie Perez. Gracie Perez spots up for 3. No good, but Carly Hinn is there. And that one was too easy, but that one she gets. Second try was the charm. Carly Hinn gets that one to fall. And the Mustangs will then be a foul at the other end. And I think that is the 4th foul on Carly Hinn. That is number 4. 6:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Carly with her 4th foul. That'll put Annabelle Gillen at the free throw line for 2. First one falls off, no good. And we've got a lane violation. And so she'll get another try at it. And she misses this again. Now Carly will come out. Sierra Garrett comes in to take her place. Those Mustang post players have had everything they could handle today with Kiana Wilfred. The second free throw is good by Gillen. Pushes the lead back to 12 with 6:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Into the corner for Gracie Perez. She'll fire up the 3. Missed everything. Gillen with the rebound. Gillen all the way in, finds Cardona on the baseline, blocked by the Mustangs. Put back won't go. Cardona's put back falls short, and finally that one goes in. I think that was Cardona on the follow. So every time the Mustangs threaten to crack back into the single digits, Mitchell comes back and extends that lead again. There's a pull-up jumper by Perez, and then Garrett is going to be fouled by Maddie Watson. So Sierra Garrett will go to the free throw line. Actually, I think maybe they gave that to Jory Peters. They did. That is her second. And so Garrett with 2 free throws. 6:13 to go, fourth quarter. First one is good. Sierra Garrett has provided some quality minutes today for the Mustangs in the paint. Second one no good, but the rebound by Josie Perez, and then a tie-up, and this will be Mitchell Tiger basketball. (42-29). 13-point advantage for the Mitchell Tigers. Here's Watson at the top of the key. To Cardona, and now Gillen. Kano will drive in, tried to send it down low, and here's Callie Schultz coming away with the steal. Callie drives in, stops, gathers herself, and knocks it down. Good job that time by Callie Schultz to realize what was going on. Slowed it down and made the good high percentage shot. Now the Mustangs down 11, under 5.5 to go. Kano will back it out between the circles. Mitchell content to run some time off the clock here and try and shorten the game as much as they can. Kano drives into the lane and lost it, picked up by Garrett. Hands it off to Schultz. She'll bring it across the timeline with 5 minutes to go. Josie Perez on the wing, inside for Campbell, and then a foul is going to be called on Jory Peters as she reached in to knock that away. Jory Peters with her third, and that is the 5th team foul for the Mitchell Tigers. Cardona comes out, and Kiana Wilfred back into the game for the Mitchell Tigers. Over the top to Schultz. Josie Perez double team, kicks it out into the corner for Campbell. Outside for Knight. Josie Perez will try the long three. Good! Josie Perez right on cue. Pulls the Mustangs to within 9. Single-digit game. And now the Mustangs are going to have to play some defense. Peters drives in, kicks it out. Kano guarded by Knight. Kano will back it out. Mitchell trying to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can. Out to Kano and back to Peters. Mustangs are going to have to press the issue on defense here. Into the corner for Watson. 4:13 to go. They go inside for Wilfred, slapped away, and the Mustangs come away with the steal. Kenna Campbell crosses the timeline, 4:04 to go. Josie Perez on the wing, wants the shot, kicks it across to Knight. Knight puts it on the floor, drives in, works around Wilfred, but it is blocked. Wilfred got the block that time. The Mustangs need to make every possession count here. Watson blocked by Kenna Campbell. Well done by Kenna Campbell, and Carly Hinn will come in with those 4 fouls. Sierra Garrett to the bench. Carly's got to be very, very careful. 3 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter. Mitchell tries to inbound it, and they'll get it into Peters, and off her fingertips out of bounds. Mustangs get a break there. 3:42 to go. They trail it by 8. 42-34. Carly Hinn at the top of the key finds Kenna Campbell. Works her way across the lane. That shot no good. And a tie-up called. This will be Mustang basketball. Very close to Kenna getting an over-the-back call as she and Annabelle Gillen were battling for that rebound. They'll get it into Carly Hinn. To Schultz, high post for Josie Perez. Puts it on the floor and has it taken away by Kano. Good defense that time by Callie Schultz. Kano had a clear line to the basket, but able to get down there and cut her off. Now Kano drives in. She'll throw the shot up, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Kenna Campbell. Wilfred to inbound it. Gets it into Peters over the top, but taken away by Knight. Josie Perez brings it up the floor. Now she'll pull it back out across to Knight. Under 3 to go. Knight drives to the baseline. Over top of Wilford. Just won't quite go, but there is Schultz with the offensive rebound. Josie Perez, three-pointer. Good! Don't count the Mustangs out yet. 2:43 to go, fourth quarter. The Mustangs back within 6 at 42-37. I'm never good at math. 5-point game late in the fourth quarter. Again, let's say thanks to our sponsors. We haven't given them their money's worth here this afternoon, but we certainly will do our best now. The First National Bank in Gordon. Strong Insurance. You guys can probably recite these along with me. Gordon True Value. Hins Home Furnishings. CPAs Gardner, Lautzenheiser, and Ryan. The Italian Inn. Grocery Mart. Gordon Dental. Sides and Milburn Ford. And Modern Farm Equipment Company. Well, it's been worth the wait. It was a long struggle to get us to this point with all kinds of hurdles to go over, but we got ourselves a heck of a ball game here. 2:43 left to go, fourth quarter. Mustangs trail at 42-37. Mustangs with 7 fouls, so Mitchell is in the 1-and-1 bonus. Mitchell with 5 team fouls, and so they are 2 fouls away from putting the Mustangs into the 1-and-1. It'll be Mustang basketball out of the timeout. Fourth quarter action. The Mustangs, as we said at the top of the broadcast, which I'm not sure if anybody got or not, but Mustangs at 12-5, they are 11-2 in their last 13 ball games. Those 2 losses, both at the hands of this Mitchell Tiger team, and they would dearly love to right that right here in the fourth quarter here this afternoon. Peters works against Schultz, hands it off to Annabelle Gillen. Mitchell with a 5-point lead, wanting to stall, and then the foul called on Callie Schultz. She thought it was clean, so did everybody in a black-colored uniform as well. But it's a foul called on Callie Schultz. That is her 4th, and it will put Annabelle Gillen at the free throw line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. First one is good. Cardona comes in to replace Maddie Watson in the Tiger lineup. The second one falls off, no good. Campbell with the rebound, ahead to Josie Perez. And a reach-in foul called on Cardona. The second foul on Cardona. The Mustangs get it into Josie Perez. 2:20 to go, fourth quarter. They trail by 6 and a timeout called by Coach Randy Holbert. Full 1-minute timeout on the floor. Proudly celebrating over 125 years of locally made decisions and supporting our community. That is the First National Bank in Gordon. Strong Insurance, family owned since 1932. Strong Insurance is your independent insurance agency. Main Street in Gordon. And True Value of Gordon reminds us that unfortunately the snow is going to be here for a while, and if you're tired of shoveling, come into True Value for great deals on snow blowers. They've got everything else you need to get rid of that snow as well on Main Street in Gordon. Hins Home Furnishings, out with the old and in with the new. If you're needing a new mattress, stop into Hins Home Furnishings in Gordon. Certified public accountants Gardner, Lautzenheiser, and Ryan invite you to stop in at their new location, 216 South Main Street in Gordon. And the Italian Inn in Gordon serves up delicious burgers and steaks, as well as great Italian food and a whole lot more. They're open for lunch and dinner, 200 North Main Street in Gordon. 2:16 left to go, fourth quarter. Mustangs down by 6. 8 fouls on the Mustangs, 6 on the Tigers. So the next Mitchell foul will put the Mustangs into the 1-and-1. On the floor for the Mustangs, Gracie Perez, Josie Perez, Carly Hinn, Kenna Campbell, and Callie Schultz, the starting 5 out there for the folks in black. Carly Hinn across to Schultz. Now Schultz will bring it up between the circles. 2 minutes left in this one. Josie Perez looks in, gets the pick from Hinn, drives in over the top of Wilfred. The shot won't go. Carly Hinn battling for the rebound. She hits the deck. Mitchell comes out of there with it. This is Peters. Peters works against Schultz. Schultz with 4 fouls. Both Schultz and Hinn with 4. 1:40 to go. Kano guarded by Gracie Perez. Mitchell just trying to bleed this clock down and get out of here with a victory. And there's a reach-in foul by Gracie Perez, and probably not the worst thing that ever happened. That will put Kano at the free throw line for a 1-and-1. So that is the 9th foul on the Mustangs. So the next one will put Mitchell into the double bonus. 1:26 to go, 4th quarter. Free throw is up, and it is good. Makes it a 3-possession game now at 44-37. Kano lines up the second. That one is short. The rebound battled for, and that's Carly Hinn who comes out of there with it. And then Wilfred reaches in and does the Mustangs a favor and fouls Carly. Well, that is the 3rd on Wilfred, and that'll put Carly Hinn at the free throw line at the other end. 44-37, 1:22 to go in the 4th quarter. A chance for the Mustangs to put points on the board with the clock stopped. A 1-and-1 for Carly. And it is good. Nothing but net for Carly Hinn that time. And back to a 2-possession game. Puts that one up. Nothing but net both times. 5-point game, 44-39. Timeout called by the Mustangs. 1:22 to go in this 4th quarter. Take advantage of Grocery Mart's tailgate kickoff sale before it ends on February 6th. Grocery Mart has everything you need to fuel your game day, from wings to fresh pork butt to chips and avocados. The only home-owned Gordon grocery store, open 7 days a week in Gordon. And Gordon Dental reminds you that there are wins and losses in basketball, and sometimes sprained ankles and chipped teeth. The sport of basketball isn't always pain-free, but at Gordon Dental, pain-free is always the goal. Dr. Robert Ferguson and his staff at Gordon Dental will give you a pain-free, exceptional dental experience. 1:22 to go, 4th quarter. 9 fouls on the Mustangs, 7 on the Tigers. And the Mustangs down 5 points. And they are going to come out and put some full court pressure on. Try and get an easy turnover here, or a turnover, easy or hard, doesn't matter. There's a tip ball by Callie Schultz, but it's off the basket. And they'll give it back to Mitchell. That's an unfortunate bit of bad luck right there. Callie got a hand on it. Now Watson comes in for Wilfred. So Wilfred out of the game. A chance for the Mustangs to get something done here. Watson in the corner. She'll turn and head up the floor with it. Cardona crosses the timeline, and now the Mustangs are going to try to trap. And a timeout called by the Tigers. 1:15 to go. Timeout Mitchell. And if you head on over to the Sides and Milburn Ford website, you'll see their used vehicle inventory. It's all right there for you. Check it out. Sides and Milburn Ford in Rushville. I'm sure the scoreboard still says that that we are in the 3rd quarter. I apologize for that. Just one more to add to the list of things here this afternoon. We're not even going to try to change that. We are in the 4th quarter, regardless of what it says. 1:15 left to go. Mitchell with the basketball. This is Kano looking to get it in, and she'll find Peters. Guarded by Schultz. Schultz with 4 fouls. And Kiana Wilfred not on the floor, and Callie Schultz just fouled out. Gets the hand check, and that'll be the end of the day for Callie Schultz. 1:06 left to go in the 4th quarter. that'll bring Rianne Ferguson into the ball game for the Mustangs, and it puts the Tigers into the double bonus, and Jory Peters makes the first of 2 free throws. Back to a 6-point game with 1:06 to go in the 4th quarter. Second one is also good. And back to a 3-possession game at a 7-point lead. Josie Perez trying to, and a 5-second call on the Mustangs as she waited too long to pick that ball up, I guess. They get a 5-second call. And now the officials are going to talk this over. That's something I'm not, I guess, familiar with. Trying to conserve time without having that ball touched by one of the Mustangs to keep the clock from starting. And they're going to give this back to the Mustangs. So good officiating work that time as they get it fixed. And now the Mustangs need 3 scores in a minute's time. Josie Perez for 3. Good! That'll get things started in a hurry. And now it's a 4-point game. 53 seconds to go. Ferguson trying to stick with Jory Peters. And the Mustangs don't want to have to foul, but I think they're going to have to here. Ferguson, now Carly Hinn comes out to try and get on Peters, and they're going to have to foul her, and Carly just fouled out of the game. Carly said, hey, somebody's going to have to do it. She picks up her 5th foul. That'll be the end of the day for Carly Hinn. So 2 Mustang starters out with 5 fouls. Jacoby Knight will come back into the contest for the Mustangs. 37.2 seconds to go. Mustangs down by 4. Knight and now Sierra Garrett back in as well as Rianne Ferguson back to the bench. So it'll be Peters at the line with 2 shots. She made her last 2. She misses that one. Four-point game, and now it's 5. Still a 2-possession contest. Josie Perez quickly up the floor, all the way to the baseline, stops, flips it out to Gracie Perez. Quick fire, 3-pointer, good! Ice in the veins of Gracie Perez, knocks that one down. It's a 2-point game. Mustangs not out of this one yet. 28.4 seconds left to go, and a timeout on the floor. That was as quick a catch and shoot as you're going to see. Gracie caught that basketball and fired it and dropped it right in. Nothing but the bottom of the net that time for Gracie Perez. High drama here. The Mustangs lost twice to this Mitchell squad so far this season, and they certainly hope to be able to meet up with them one more time. Of course, these two both in the same C1 12 sub-district. And the Mustangs have learned a lot. The last encounter with these Mitchell Tigers did not go well for the Mustangs. It was a big blowout win for the Mitchell Tigers, but the Mustangs have acquitted themselves well here this afternoon. They got off to a rocky start, but it has been a big 2nd quarter and a big 4th quarter for the Mustangs. They had cut it to 7 at halftime, and now they trail by just 2 with 28.4 seconds left to go in this one. The Mustangs need a steal on the inbounds here, and if they don't get the steal, they're going to have to foul pretty quickly. So expect a lot of pressure on the floor for the Mustangs. Knight, Campbell, Josie Perez, Rianne Ferguson, and Sierra Garrett. They'll get it into Cardona, off to Jory Peters. Now Kano, and then she'll be fouled by Knight. 23.2 seconds. Give that foul to Jacoby Knight, and that is her 2nd. And it puts Kenzie Kano at the free throw line for 2 shots. She's 1 for 2 in the 2nd half. Don't know what she did from the line in the 1st half. We don't really know much about what happened in the 1st half. 23.2 seconds. 2 shots. The first one falls in. Makes it a 3-point game at 48-45. Sorry, I had the score wrong on your computer there the whole time. Second one off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Kenna Campbell. 20 seconds to go, the Mustangs down by 3. Josie Perez drives in, shot high off the glass, no good. Knight with the rebound, the putback, that won't go. Knight gets another rebound. Gracie Perez for 3. Off the back of the rim, no good, and rebounded by Gillen. And a foul by the Mustangs with 7.2 seconds left. Mustangs had a chance there. They had the look they wanted. Gracie, I know, is disappointed, but she's had a heck of a second half shooting. She's dropped in 3 3-pointers, including the one that pulled the Mustangs within 2. But with 7.2 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter, it puts Annabelle Gillen at the line for 2 free throws. The first one is good, and that makes it a 4-point game. And that's rather significant with 7 seconds to go. Pretty hard to do anything now, a 5-point game, as both of them are good. Makes it 50-45. Josie Perez drives down, puts up the 3. It's good at the buzzer, but that will be just a little too little too late, as the Mustangs will fall by a final score of 50-48. But if there's a silver lining, they played this Mitchell Tiger team to within 2 points. That's a heck of a game, and they learned an awful lot. Hopefully they'll get another chance at these Mitchell Tigers come sub-district or district time. So what a game. Glad we were able to get things back online for you here in the second half. We saw a fantastic finish, but the Mustangs fall 50-48 to the Mitchell Tigers. The Mustangs will then fall into the consolation bracket. They will play at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in that consolation game. And we will look ahead as we get ready for this evening's action. Boys basketball action between the Gordon-Rushville Mustangs and the Bridgeport Bulldogs is who they'll be facing off against this evening at 7:50. And hopefully in that time we'll have all of the technical kinks worked out of everything and ready to give you a full 4 quarters of action for the boys as they take on the Bridgeport Bulldogs. Again, final score here in the first game of the day, semifinal action from WNCC. It is Mitchell 50 and Gordon-Rushville 48. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks again to our sponsors, the First National Bank of Gordon, Strong Insurance, Gordon True Value, Hins Home Furnishings, Gardner, Lautzenheiser and Ryan, the Italian Inn, Grocery Mart, Gordon Dental, Sides and Milburn Ford, Modern Farm Equipment, and of course the Sheridan County Journal-Star. We will step aside. We'll be back 7:15 this evening. Make sure you join us for what should be an outstanding game of basketball this evening between the Mustangs and the Bulldogs of Bridgeport. Until then, Clint Anderson, along with camera person Gene Anderson, saying thank you. We'll see you this evening.